Greetings, everyone. As many of you may know, my name is Albi, which is the name I go by in conjunction with my enacting higher self. And today's video is going to be about the power of our voice, the power of our tongue. Now, what I usually do within this channeling series is that in order for me to enter that state, although I can with my eyes open, I just prefer to focus to such an extent where I can channel and be so articulate for you guys. I prefer to channel with my eyes closed. So forgive me if my eyes do flicker, as little or not little that they may. But to start this topic, I will now enter this flow state and begin talking to you guys about this topic. So now, what I'd like to start off with conveying is that our souls, per se, our electrical spirit body, our energetic body, is one that is of the same likeness of the creator of the cosmos. Quite frankly, we are the creator of the cosmos, just a part of it. If you take a glass from one body of water, that glass of that same water, although individualized, it has the same abilities, the same aspects, the same identity, just different in fragmentation. But everything is the same in accordance with that body of water that it's from, or that it once was. Key word, once was. It once was and still is, just in a separate identity. Now, as it is said that the cosmos, or creator of it, thought this reality into existence, we thought ourselves into existence as well. We thought our destiny. That is why many of us have deja vus, because we see our life, we dream our life before we live it. Or our conscious self is connecting to the higher self that dreamt this vision of this life that we are living. So, with all of that being said, being that we are this light being, let's go over sound, or let's go over expression, communication. Now, not many may know, or not many are tapped in, but people do communicate amongst thought. That is why sometimes we may think of an individual right before they call and have many more of these synchronistic moments. We may think of people before they call. We may think of people before we see them turning a corner. Maybe we're walking somewhere. This is our natural and subtle claircognizance, or clairvoyance even, knowing before happening. Now, when it comes to communication, we can communicate energies or frequencies audibly or inaudibly. We can say things within our mind, or we can say things with our voice. And now here's the interesting part. Whether you say something, let's say you have an opinion towards somebody, and it may not be a nice one, because for some, these are the energies that are the most felt. Or when someone likes you and appreciates you, those energies are also too felt. So let's use that as an example. Let's say somebody said, I liked you, in their mind. You would feel, if you had a well-rounded discernment, you would feel the fact that this person liked you because they already made that decision within their mind. So now what's happening is that their energy is radiating that feeling or emotion, which is energy and emotion, outwards. And you are the recipient of that feeling or emotion. The same goes for when that person will tell you in person, I like you. It's going to have the same effect. You will be flattered. Some might get nervous. But whether you can feel it or you hear it, in both circumstances or situations, you still know. And that is to highlight that we produce energy. We channel, we broadcast, for lack of better words, energy, whether we say it within our minds or out loud. Now, being that we are one with the creator, we are the creator of our own lives, sharing every ability that the creator of the cosmos has enacted, because we are merely fragments of the creator of the cosmos. What we think and what we say will go with our life, goes with our life. So let's say individuals are trying to manifest love. How do they do this? The best way is to affirm that you have it already. When we communicate things from a state of lack or a state of I will, communicating that you are not at the desired state yet, what that does is that it gazes your energy towards that desired state. You're looking at the desired state. That is what a gaze is. Now, when you communicate things in present tense, you are affirming that you have it already, that it's already here, that it's already a part of your energetic vibration, because we all know that things do manifest from the unseen world. Everything that we see in today's day and age was once a thought manifested outwards into physical reality, because all things are vibration. Although the chair that I'm sitting on is physical, it vibrates at such a level that makes it appear to the eyes that it is a physical object. But there are tons of atoms and cells clustered together. Energy, because before you have an atom, you have its energy, you have its essence, that are clustered together that make it or deem it physical. And that goes the same with anything, whether it is tangible or intangible. Be able to be felt, touched, or not. Everything is energy. So that is why when we communicate things in a present state, what we are doing is using our own inner channel, our own inner voice, our own ability to attract these things towards us, the same way the Creator attracted and created this entire paradigm, matrix, or reality. Now, when you communicate things in a future tense, which is what I like to do most of the time, because sometimes I'm okay with speaking things into a present tense. When we say I have been, what that does is that instead of being in a gazing state or being in a present state, an energetical present state, speaking things into future tense merely increases the propulsion or the speed of how fast that manifestation is coming. Think of it as exciting the spirit, exciting the manifestation. A car can still go fast on gas, but if you add a little bit of nitrous, it's going to get where it needs to go even faster than what it already was. Think of speaking things into a future tense as a little boost. When you look at feeling is energy in motion. So when you speak things into a have happened state, you are in a further timeline than one that would be the present state. If you say, I have that car now, versus being in the state of I've been had that car, you're more ahead of the present state. Scientifically and logically speaking, it just makes sense that way. So the same thing goes for speeding up the propulsion, the propensity, the likeliness of happening, the happenstance of your manifestations. You speed this up when you speak things into future tense. Now, what I want to talk about now is affirming even the smallest things within your reality. Now, I want to talk about affirming situational things. Let's say you don't want to cut yourself when you're chopping up your food. You can affirm that. Versus saying, because some people do so unconsciously, oh, I'm a klutz. I tend to cut myself when I'm chopping up food. But what the individual does not know in that moment is that you can affirm that for the rest of the futures that you will be experiencing, there is no more accidents of you getting hurt when you're doing an activity you're supposed to enjoy. It doesn't exist. That's my favorite phrase. It doesn't exist because it doesn't exist. There is not one thing that you can affirm. I've practiced this myself. I no longer stub my toe. I do not get hurt when I'm in the kitchen cooking. And several other things. Let's say you don't want the smell of cigarettes to continue to come inside of your home. You can affirm that that doesn't happen. And not to say that you're influencing the decisions of other people. What you're doing is connecting to a reality, a future reality that already exists, because the spirit knows that the future reality exists where the cigarette smells won't be coming into your house anymore. Being that you are in a higher dimension and you are a conscious individual, spirit is going to give you an opportunity to practice your power. To practice your power and say in that moment, yes, the smell of cigarettes is no longer going to be entering my home. That reality was already on its way. So anything could literally happen. It's not up to us to obsess over the circumstances or how they're going to happen, how these affirmations are going to come to be or come into fruition. All we need to know is that it's happened already, or it has been happening, or it is happening now. That's all we need to know. And in that universe, the person, that alley where the person smoking the cigarettes, where it's coming up into your window, what could happen is that there could be a construction site that's starting in general, that's commencing. So they can't stand there anymore because it's getting operated on. So right before you said that affirmation, the reality shifted to where not only something was already on its way, and I also want to point here that any time that you say something to affirm your reality, that dimension always exists. And what this does is that it may make the person feel like, yes, am I truly the only person living this experience? But understand that in your life, reality is flowing through you. So although it already existed, it is still your reality at the end of the day. Not to say that there aren't other people who have their own reality as well. In your relationship with the divine, you focus on yours. It's your world. When you connect to other people's as it is ordained to be, that is when it's time to connect to these other individuals and enlighten them with the same ideals or things that you may be practicing. So the point here is that there is not one thing that you cannot affirm. There is not one thing that you cannot affirm. You can affirm anything. You can affirm there is no more of me being bothered by this or that. There is no more of a reality where if I want to go somewhere, I experience resistance. Now, the universe, the divine is always communicating. So if there's a resistance in a certain area, it is the most ideal to not affirm things that are not serving us in our highest good. Now, when it comes to mentality, you can also affirm the activation of neurons and brain cells within your body. You can affirm that you get better quick because you are the head and communicator and conductor of every cell inside of your body. So if you communicate that you want your arthritis in this arm to go away, all you have to do is think it, affirm it, and it will. Because your body has no choice but to do so. And if spirit requires something of you to align with that desired outcome, maybe they're going to send you to the store to go get something that you need to speed that process up, because our bodies do need fuel. Whether it's fruit, whether it's air, sunlight, whatever it is. We can affirm the activation of our DNA. For example, I've been affirming that I now access memories that I have not accessed in a very long time. And the joy, oh my goodness, the things that I have remembered that I have not remembered in eons, they've only been coming up because I've been saying so, because I've been affirming that this is the reality that I want. But again, I want to put emphasis on when we affirm things that are in our highest good, these are things that already exist for us. But us affirming these things are just us practicing our power and walking into this already existing reality. Sometimes spirit will not usher it in until you speak it or say it. Because even in that example, that reality will not approach, or that resistance, that hesitation that you have is karmic. It's supposed to be there. And everything aligns so divinely and perfectly. So when it is that you do finally practice and use your power and affirm what it is that you want, the reality finally comes in. The door finally opens. Because everything is spiritual before it is physical. And it always works like that. The spiritual realm was first, and it breathed the physical into existence. So there is not one thing that you can affirm. Stubbing your toe, getting pulled over, getting a ticket. There is not one way. There is not one thing. And yes, you are above it all. There is not one thing that you cannot have. There is not one thing that you can affirm. Now, when it comes to infringing upon the will of other people, of course, the universe has its way of invoking karma upon individuals who even believe that they're supposed to be in a state, an undesired state, of course, where they're supposed to infringe on the will of other people, because we are naturally love. And the universe would always have to show that individual that, that's not going to make you happy. Not because the main key here is that you are not in alignment with your highest good, with love. But what you can do is infringe upon your own life to be separated in whatever specific circumstance from the individual that you may be wanting to get away from. If you want to stop an individual from doing something to you, or you feel like it's being done to you, separate yourself from their energy, or affirm that there is a situation where whatever it is that it isn't desired, you don't have to deal with it. And the universe will shift you in whatever way that you desire. That's all I have for today's video. I affirm that every single one of you guys viewing this continues to walk in and use your power. My name is Albicarat again. And if you guys want to book one-on-one consultations with me, you can visit spiritualstax.com and you can book a financial and career consultation, a love and relationship consultation, a manifestation/destiny consultation, a mental/spiritual health consultation, any of these things. And in the future, we will be doing more types of consultations. I look forward to teaching, educating, and experiencing all that may be interested and all that are engaging with me. And for now, ciao.